right. Well, today we have a special guest. We have Jared Davis from Richmond, Virginia. Jared, where are you? Raise your hand so you come to the upper left-hand corner of the screen, Jared. Want to pull you up because there he is. Jared Davis. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Man, thank you for having me.
Yep. Now, for people who don't know you, you have a sales team of how many?
So our team is right at about 32 agents right this second.
Then you have a revenue share organization with EXP. How big is that?
349.
340. Congratulations. And then you bought some real estate. You're a real estate investor. How many doors do you own? I love the terminology. That's how they talk.
Right now I have about 144, 145. I know you had mentioned single families. They're actually multis. I have an 8-unit multi, 48 multi, an 84 multi. And then we're actually trying to sell the 8 right now. We got an LOI on 80 more. And then if I sell the 8, then I'll try to pick up 50 more. So trying to scale to 250 by next year, 500 in the next couple is the goal.
Awesome. And then you also are flipping homes, I think. Do you have any flips you're doing right now?
Done 7 this year so far. Five done, 2 under contract. Yeah. So if I can do 10, I'll be happy with the year. It'll actually be our best flip year ever because margins have been really good on everything I've found this year. And I partner on some. I take some down by myself. So it's looking like maybe 300,000 in flip income this year on the side, which is nice to do a few flips and pocket 300K to go buy some apartments with.
Yep. So he's selling homes. Your team is going to sell a few hundred homes this year. I know the market's tight down. How's the sales going up in Richmond, Virginia?
We've done 90 so far this year. So, I mean, I think I wanted to do 300. I think 90 tracks us more like 250. I mean, if I do 250, I'd be happy at our average price point. It would still put us at 100 million, which is really the number that I'm tracking. You know, our average price point is sub 400 here. So, you know, to hit 100 million in Richmond's a little different than hitting 100 million somewhere where you're just cracking 800, $900 million sales out. So we got to do the volume to be able to make sure we get it.
Now, if you were a flipper, I'd get on a plane and go to Richmond and shadow him. If you're a real estate investor, I get on a plane and fly to Richmond and shadow him. If I had a team, I wanted to build a team to 300, I'd fly to Richmond and shadow him. I'd ask him for his permission. Maybe he won't be able to do it, and obviously, but don't worry, Jared. People just don't do it,
It's true, but I'm pretty easy. I take up on it. I actually drove like an hour, 20 minutes to meet somebody last week for breakfast just because they said, "Will you meet with me?" And I said, "Yeah." They were about 2 hours away. I said, "I'll meet you halfway. I'll drive out for breakfast to help you, just to not in my line, random EXP agent." But it was what it is. I said, "Hey, if I can help you, it's fine. You'll figure out a way to return the favor at some point."
Yep. But you're all like, well, Richmond's a long ways. Well, how far would you go for your future? Right. And like, well, everyone's going to bother him. I don't want to bother him. Okay. So you stay home and live a life of quiet desperation, but you could go shadow Jake Hinder in Puerto Rico. How about come out to Puerto Rico and ask Jake, can I spend the day with you? Jake would say yes. What if the answer is yes, but maybe he'll say no. Get some thick skin. Maybe Tina Cole. I love Tina Cole. Tina let me come to her office and just watch it. You sit in the corner and you observe and you're taking notes and you're like, what does she do to be successful? And then she'll probably go to lunch with you or take you to dinner, whatever. I went to dinner with Jake Hinder in Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma. We went to the Golden Corral and it was life-changing for me. So who do you like? Kyle Whistle? Do you like anyone? Michelle Wilson in Seattle? Kim Fraser in Seattle, Michael Dougal in Canada, Luann, she sells 60 or 70 homes. She's like, I've never been so busy. And so get around successful people, rubs off on you. So with that said, Jared is our speaker. And we were talking about the NAR lawsuits, and more importantly than ever, for a buyer to actually convince buyers that I'm the gal you want to work with. So let's start there, Jared. Why don't we have, when you're ready, you call Rob to put it up. We're prepared on our end, but why don't you share a little bit about your buyer presentation? or
Yes, Rob, you can throw this up while I'm talking. This is a rough draft because I told Brent I would have this ready within 2 weeks. So thankfully, he put the fuel under me to actually get it done. So it came back last night. So we have no revisions to this. This is literally just the initial push. So we're going to change text. We're going to change, probably layout. We're going to change a bunch of stuff. But, for me, I've been doing this for over a decade. I don't necessarily need a sheet to go in and convey my value. But I have found that for everyone on my team, almost when we role play this stuff, they are not so hot at this. Even the ones that are good at sales that think they're great, they fumble this all day long. And we have 300 and some people in our organization. So we run role play days every first and last Thursday of the month. I want to make sure that they're good at this, but I'm watching them falter as well. And I understand that if we can't help them sell, then they're going to be out of the industry. So this is just a quick sheet. It's not our presentation, right? We're going to go through the ins and outs of, what it's like to be an escrow and how much EMD you need and how inspection works. This is simply a sheet to use as a guide, as a buyer's agent with your buyers to show, hey, this is what makes us different. So I know Rob was going to put this in the chat. Anybody can download it and steal it and redo it. Some stuff, obviously, you'll have to change because it may not fit. But some stuff, hopefully, it's going to give you a aha of like, oh, man, yeah, this would be a good thing. Because when I ask my agents to tell me, why should I hire you to pay 3%, it's really bad. For buy sides, they're like, because I'm the best, or because, I'm going to meet with you all the time, because I'm going to be available to show you homes. Like that is like the base level of entry for a real estate agent, right? Of course, you're going to show me homes. I know that, but why 3%? So here's some of the things. I don't want to take up too much time, but maybe some of the key things that I hit on. Obviously, I hit on the fact that we are one of the top 5 teams in Central Virginia. We're the number 1 team with EXP in Central Virginia. We're number 3 in the state. So, that really does lead, at least if you're talking to buyers, to the idea that, hey, the average agent writes 4, houses a year. We're selling hundreds. So we know what the market's doing every single week. That's going to help us to negotiate better for you, right? That's number 1. That also leads to relationships, right? Because we're in the top 10 teams, top 5 teams in Central Virginia, we are constantly doing business with the other top teams in Virginia. So not only are we talking to our agents on what they have, but we're talking to other people about what they have coming down the pipeline. One thing we have, you'll have to see how you can do this. I'm sure you guys have a home inspector that you use. We actually have a licensed EXP agent that's a licensed home inspector and a Class A contractor. And so for him, what we negotiated was a $175 inspection fee to pre-inspect houses. So on the buy side, on these market houses where everything is going over and we're having to waive inspections and you get your buyer that says, well, I don't want to waive my inspection. It's okay. $175. He's going to come in. He's a realtor, so he has lockbox access to get in. He can plug the showing in, be in and out, and tell you if it's safe to waive your inspection. And he's going to give you a list of the major stuff that needs to be done with a price quote because he can fix it for you. So we're essentially inspecting the house, contracting the house, fixing the house, and making sure we can waive your inspection so that you can win over these other 15 offers. So I think that's a huge value add for us. You should figure out something with your home inspectors. I own a mortgage company. So we push that, we have an in-house lender. So we're going to offer you the best rates, the widest range of mortgage products. We're going to do whatever we can. If I have to price that loan down to make no money to give you the best deal, I will do it if it means you use us, right, on the buy side. So, I'm going to make money, right? We know that. But we're going to push the fact that if we have to, we're going to match whatever we have to match. Availability 7 days a week. Not a big deal. I hope most agents are available 7 days a week, but the reality is, how many agents do we talk to that are working a full-time job somewhere that really aren't available because they're working a 9 to 5? So we want to make sure people realize not only are we available, we have 30 plus agents. So if I'm in the hospital or I'm on vacation, there's an agent that's going to open that door. You're never going to miss an opportunity. Well, we talked about flipping houses. I have a trusted contractor list, which means I'm going to get you discounted rates on anything you need. My floor contractor here in Richmond, I'm his number 1 client. I spend more money with that guy than anybody else, and he's got a huge operation. I can not only get people discounts for carpet and flooring and tile and bathrooms, but I can get a lot of that stuff pushed out to closing. So if somebody wants to buy a fixer-upper, I can get stuff done before close, after close, whatever we need to do. So for these buyers looking for fixer-uppers, we can pretty much walk through and give them pricing and say, hey, it's okay. I know you think this is a big deal. You think this is a $30,000 bathroom because you've never remodeled a bathroom, but I've done 18 this year. I can do this bathroom for $6,500. I promise you, right? So again, it's just that confidence. Experience with flips and rentals makes us an asset to investors looking for off-market deals. This one, all of you should be doing. This next one, Zenlist. Everyone should be pushing Zenlist. So we have access to the largest database of agents for homes so that we can find available off-market properties, right? We know that Zenlist is all 90,000 EXP agents. If you're not using Zenlist, you really need to start pumping listings into Zenlist. You can take, I mean, this is a whole other training, Brent, so I shouldn't really get heavy into that or I'll rant all day. But please, guys, start using Zenlist because one, it's going to offer you value to your buyers to say, hey, we have 90,000 agents. We have 1,800 agents in our state. We have the biggest database for off-market real estate available. What's the hardest thing about finding a home right now? It's inventory, right? It's competition. What if I could find you an off-market house that no one knows about, right? We have that database. Admin staff, and then we've sold over 1,000 homes. So that means we know every price point, every area. That's it. That's like the rundown of that. But hopefully what that gives you, if you build something like this and it gives our agents, is the ability to pull that sheet out after they've gone through the process and say, look, here's some of the things that we're doing that other agents can't match with. So yeah, I know your Uncle Johnny said he'll do it for 1%. He doesn't really care, but this is why I do it for X percent. I do it for this much because look at what we're offering. Has your Uncle Johnny sold 1,000 houses? Has he flipped 7 houses this year? Does he have a list of contractors? Does he have an in-house inspector? Does he have an in-house lender? Well, that's the difference. That's why you're paying a professional versus your aunt or your uncle that does this on the side. And that's the buy side.
Absolutely. So real quick, I want to quote this. Some of you are going, well, shoot, I don't have an in-house lender. I don't have an in-house home inspector. I'm not the top team and this and that. So you could say our EXP team here in Sacramento is the number one real estate sales organization in the Sacramento area. So what, or the state of Tennessee or Arizona, grab corporate stats and just switch the word from top 5 team in Central Virginia to our XP team here in Coeur d'Alene is X, whatever good thing you could say. And so you just switch it. If you're not available 7 days a week, say you're available 6 or 5, or don't use that one at all. You can come up with your own little bullet points and even plus it. When you buy a home with me, my housekeepers come and scrub it from top to bottom, toilets and showers. You can work a deal out with your housekeeper, $125. They'll come in and do that stuff. And would you do that for a $14,000 commission? I would. That's not on this list. You can make your own list of benefits. Okay, Jared, I just want to cover that. So don't get freaked out. Go do a mastermind. Get 2 of you, 3 of you together, and then cross out what you can't use, but what can you replace it with and put it in there. Jared, do you want to go to the seller side real quick?
I'll do it. The seller side, I'm really excited about. The buy side, obviously, we know what we're dealing with at this point. The sell side, again, people keep asking about, well, what if, I don't know, how do I offer more commission? How do I want 7, whatever? They're so bad at, again, articulating the value. And I keep telling my team, you need to show up with a presentation that articulates your offering with a total cost, right? See, there is a value that you will deliver for a fee you will accept. So what is that fee that you will accept? So now what this is going to do for you is when you go into a listing appointment, and this is going to come up all the time now, they're going to say, well, let's talk compensation at the end, right? And it always came up in some way, right? How much do you want to get paid? But nowadays they say, well, now I hear it's negotiable, right? Well, this lets you say 100%, it's always been negotiable, right? In fact, we have this compensation option sheet that we bring with us just so you can see exactly what we do for everybody. And you can choose. We do negotiate. We do 6%, 7, 8, 9. You get to choose, right? See, what this is going to do, first and foremost, it's going to shut down any option for them to try to negotiate lower than you want to go. Now, if you want to go lower than 6 in your market, go wild, right? This isn't saying you have to use this. If you want to say we have a 5 option or a 4 option and that's what you want in your market, great. For us, this is what we chose. Ultimately, we see this 6%, right? It's a basic essential package is what we call it, right? Hey, this is the essentials. We've already gone through our listing presentation at this point. We've already told them all the things that we're going to do to market them, why they should hire us, why we're the best in the business. And if that's all you want is us in an essential package, We're going to do pro photographs. We're going to do pro videos. We're going to give you all that extensive marketing that we've already talked about up until this point. We're going to do multiple open houses, and we'll even send our stager in if you need it, so that you can at least get a quote and see what needs to be changed. Again, we're not paying for staging at that level, but we'll send our stager and we'll let them look at the house. But now you start to look at, all right, well, what if I want more? So 7%, what we're going to do, we're now going to stage your home for free, so you don't have to pay for it, right? We're going to do a pro clean before you list, because one of the things we always tell people, right, is they need a deep clean. And sometimes they do, but they don't clean that well. So we're going to make them deep clean. And then we're also even going to do that pre-listing inspection. Remember, $175. So to get an extra 1%, if your average price point 700,000, you're going to make another $7,000 by adding on a $175 pre-listing inspection and a $400 or $500 clean. Right? Is it worth it to make an extra $7,000? Of course, right? But now we move to the next level, level 8. This is where I think it gets exciting, right? How many times do you set up a showing for somebody, or go to list a house for somebody and they say, man, you got 12 showings on Saturday and 12 showings on Sunday. I'm not even going to be able to be in my house. I'm going to have to be gone for 12 hours. What am I going to do with the dog? What am I going to do with this? So at 8%, our pro level, we're going to let you pick a weekend getaway wherever you want to go. So when I list your house on Wednesday or Thursday, you choose anywhere you want to go. You want to go to the beach, you want to go to the mountains, you pick an Airbnb, a hotel, Friday to Sunday. We're putting you and your family up. If you want your dog to go, great. If you want him in a doggy daycare, we'll pay for that too. But wherever you want to go, you want a 5-star hotel, again, $700,000 house. I now just picked up another $14,000, moving from 6 to 8. I will happily pay $2,000 or $3,000 to put them up in a nice hotel for a few days, right? To make that extra money. In addition to that, we're going to do a move out clean. In addition to the pre-clean, we're going to power wash if they need power wash cleaning. And then this is where the contractors come in. We'll help them contract the repairs to help them save money. The elite package, pro level, everything that they got up until this point, plus we're going to pay for them to move. Again, this is a local move. We can't move somebody across the country, but if you've got people relocating locally, again, $2,000, you can get somebody to move somebody locally here in our area. So we're going to give them the weekend getaway. We're going to stage their house if they need it. We're going to power wash. We're going to deep clean. We're going to pre-clean, and then we're going to pay for them to move. We will cover their contractor cost up front if they need like carpet or paint and they need us to pay for it. We will pay for it, but it's going to get paid back at closing in addition to that higher commission. And then this is my favorite part. This is where you take them over the edge, because people say, well, if I pay you 9%, don't I have to worry about having to maybe pay you 3% on the buy side? You showed me that buy seat and I get it, but that's a lot, right? Well, if you go with this elite plan, what I'm going to guarantee you is that there's no buyer's agency commission fees on your next purchase, even if commission is owed. So we know that most likely there's going to be commission that's paid because most agents are still doing it. So most likely if we get that 9 and that pushes them over the edge, we're probably still going to get our 3 or whatever it is on the backside. But what we're guaranteeing them is if they're only advertising 1, I'm not going to charge the extra 2. I'm going to get paid whatever that seller's offering me at that point, even if it's 0, right? Which means we may be a buyer's agent for you for free if you choose our elite plan up front to give you that peace of mind. Now, are most people going to pick an 8% or 9% plan? Heck no. But 6% sounds fantastic after you run through this, right? There is no 4, there is no 3, there is no who can I short over here. You see, there's nothing about even what we're paying the buyer side here. I'm taking the sale at 3. I'm getting that buyer's agent 3 because I know it's going to bring me better offers. So this doesn't even break that down. This just breaks down the overall. And at the end of the day, you say, well, is anybody going to take that 9 plan? Is anybody going to take this? Here's the thing. You ever go to Disney World or Busch Gardens or your favorite theme park and you're standing in line and you're waiting for 2 hours, and then there's that guy with the skip the line pass that's just walking past you every single ride, and he's getting on and he's having a ball, and they've got all the snacks and all the food. Meanwhile, this other person, they're walking to the parking lot to eat sandwiches they made in the car, right? See, that's that below 6 guy. He's that discount agent. Then you get everybody else is like, look, we're going to come to the park. We'll buy some stuff, right? But we're not paying for this. There's always the skip the line guy. There's always the guy that says, yes, I know it would be cheaper for me to stage my own house and book my own hotel and get my own Airbnb. But you know what? I don't care. Take the 9%, right? Do your thing. I'm leaving for the weekend. Let me know when it's sold and send me my money, right? And so if this gets you a couple 8% or 9% listings throughout the year, think about how much more money you could make at the end of the day. Another 50,000, 60,000, 100,000 just because you incorporate this sheet. And hopefully the amount of money it saves you from discounting down makes you another couple 100,000, and you'll be happy you did it. So that's it.
Oh, Jared, that was so good. So everyone's getting a copy of this. It's in the chat. You can copy and paste and have access to all this. Also, by the way, I just booked a cruise for the Build conference in Orlando, and you can get the suites for like $500, $600, $700, whatever it is. We got 200 feet of wraparound windows in our suite. So I'll just tell you, it was a little bit more. So to his point, there's the skip the line guy. I am the skip the line guy. I did pay $5,500 for that at Disney World. It was a blast. We went in the exit of every ride at Disney World. They did special seating. It was a splurge. You know, you do it once every 5 years or whatever, but I'm guilty. They let you bring 12 people for $5,500. Best $5,500. Somebody like, I would never do that. You're a 6% person. Nothing wrong with that. I do that stuff all the time. I've always been that way. So you're giving people choices. So he's giving people choices, but there was no 5, no 4, no 3. I love that. Quick question for you, Jared. If someone picks 9, what you put in the MLS is 3% the standard commission in your MLS for a buyer broker?
Yeah, I'm still trying to push 3 to everybody on the buy side. I don't mind going down to 2.5 for some stuff, just because 2.5 is kind of normal.
Is it 2.5 and 3 in your MLS, or is it all 3? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing 2.5 and 3s, but I still push to get 3 for the buyer side. I want to make sure they're getting paid and we're rewarding them. So if you get a 9, then yeah, we're going to take 6 and we're going to give them 3. And I mean,
you're doing all the marketing, you're doing all the above and beyond services. That makes total sense. And by the way, we're still using the MLS till July, right? It's July 1st that there'll no longer be a commission in, I believe that's right, Coach Bill? July 1st is when we no longer advertise the commission for the buyer's agents. You're going to be okay, guys. You're going to figure this out. You're going to succeed at a high level. We got this. You got this. Jared, awesome job today. We got time for one question. Does anybody have a burning question? You unmute yourself and ask Jared. I'm going to give you 5 seconds out. If you don't, we're going to bail. 5, 4, 3. There you go, Darren. Fire away, Darren.
I got a question. So when you do a pre-inspection and you pay for it for your clients, how do you limit your liability on that if they move in and then they're relying on that inspection as their safety net?
I mean, at the end of the day, you're not inspecting. I mean, I would think that takes the liability off in general. I mean, I would think most buyers that you take, aren't you recommending the home inspector to them? I mean, if I have 100 buyers, one person's going to pick their home inspector, and it's always a nightmare when they do. So the other 99 are using my guy. And the reality is, I don't know, 4 or 5 of those are going to call you within a couple of years and be unreasonable. Hey, he didn't catch this. Can I sue him? Hey, can I go back and sue the sellers? Right? I mean, there's always those people. But the reality is it's almost impossible for them to come back on you, especially just because you paid for it, right? I mean, I guess you could make them pay for it, but I don't think who pays for it changes liability. Really, they're waiving their inspection. So all you're doing is sending the inspector in to say, hey, this is what he found as of today. If you're okay with that data, that's going to let us waive this inspection or on the actual purchase agreement, right? That's it. This is still buyer beware. This is still, you got to be okay with that. But, you know, if you're okay with waiving, heck, most people are waiving and then not inspecting until after. If anything, that's a bigger liability for an agent to come back and then be like, well, why did you let us do this, right? Which again, still nothing you can sue me for. It was still your choice. But the reality is I would rather give them the peace of mind to say, hey, you can waive and call it a day, or $175. And a lot of times if it's the buy side, they're still paying for that. I'm not paying for it on the buy side. The seller side, I'm doing all that stuff. On the buy side, it's like, hey, would you want to just do this? I'm going to save you $200 because instead of paying $400, $450, you're going to pay $175, and then we can waive and win. So you're going to save a little bit of money, plus you're going to have some peace of mind. There's really no lose there. I mean, it's pretty much a win-win.
All right. Great question,
Thank you.
Darren. Thank you. And we'll wrap up. Final question, Coach Bill, take it away.
So we've all had those clients that you list, you get things going, a weekend or two later, they decide to pull it off the market. You've already sent them on to their 4-star hotel. Do you have a restocking fee? Hey, we'll cancel, but
Yeah. We talked about this today on our team meeting because I went over this with the team today. And I think what we do is ultimately in the listing paperwork itself, we're just going to have a clause that just says along the lines of, if this listing is not sold, then this is the cost accrued, right? That was prepaid. This will be paid for by the seller, upon release or upon expiration, if, seller chooses to work with a different agent. And again, if they don't like that language, right, the reality is, okay, don't take us up on this 8 or 9% offer, right? We can still go back to the essentials and you can pay for everything out of pocket. All we're trying to do is just protect ourselves for the same exact reason. Oh, we changed our mind. Well, yeah, you changed your mind, but I just put $8,000 into staging and this and that and everything else. So 100%, I would look at the legalities and how to write that up legally for your clients and make sure that you're protected.
cool. That was awesome, Jared. Thank you.
Awesome job today, everyone. Well, that's it for today's Mastering Sales. Jared, thank you. Thank you, brother. Super good.
Yeah.
Everyone wave at Jared. Go thumbs up, dude. That was solid. If you thought he had some cool stuff, love the choices thing. Love you all. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. We'll see you then. Go get them this week. Bye, everyone.